You got the closure you need, things like that. Can we work it out? Has things changed? Have you changed? Have I changed? Can we make this work? I don't think that's a weakness when it's under those circumstances. But if you're doing it just because you don't want to be by yourself, or just to say you're in a relationship, I don't know that I would still say it's a weakness. I don't know if weakness is the right word for me. I'm struggling with that word weakness.
Okay, I take that. Thank you, sister. Miss G, welcome in, sister.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing good.
So, I just think that I would say for the average person, it could be a weakness. I think if you're circling back because you just have unhealthy emotional patterns, like she said, if you're just afraid of being alone, then it is absolutely a weakness. If you're circling back just because you're scared of the unknown and you're going back just because it's familiar, or you have limiting beliefs about what you can actually get or have, then definitely it's a weakness. But then you have exceptions where, so my husband and I, we are actually a successful spin the block story, right? But the reason why we separated, or the reason why we stopped, because we only casually dated for a short period of time in 2014. So the reason why we went our separate ways, it's different if you were in a relationship where, okay, you're in a full-blown relationship, it's super unhealthy, super toxic, somebody did something, somebody did somebody wrong, and then you went out there, you couldn't find better, you didn't really learn your lesson, and then you just went back to your old situation. That's one thing. But none of that was the case for us, right? And so for us, it worked out, and we came back together for the right reasons. And also, it made sense at the time when we stopped talking and we stopped dealing with each other. The reasons why made sense at the time. And so I just think it depends on the context. It depends on what went on the first time. Why are you going back? How did you guys end up back together? It depends on so many things. But if you're going back just because it's familiar, if you're going back because you're scared of being alone, if you're going back because you feel like you can't find anything better, then no, absolutely not. Or if you're going back and you didn't learn anything the first time.
Interesting. I like that.
So
no, it all ties in. It all ties in. Brother James, what's up, brother? Welcome in, man.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, sister. Thank you. I appreciate that. What's up, brother?
You're welcome.
You got the floor, James. That's why I called on you, brother.
I'm sorry, man. I popped in because I got your notification. What are we talking about?
So the question is circling back a sign of weakness, is circling back a sign of weakness? And are you attracted to the person or the feeling they once gave you?
Okay, got it. So I think I got that from the young lady's answer. I thought her answer was really, really good, by the way. But I think what I would add is, I think regardless of, I don't know where I got this, but I heard this recently, that your partner, right, the person you're with, is a reflection of your self-worth. And that made me had to really sit down and think about that statement, just even for myself, right? And I just think that's true, whether you're, and I think a lot of times circling back, that can be relevant to that, but I think it doesn't matter who you're with. The person you're with is a reflection of your self-worth. And so I think we got to think about what is it that person does to me or for me or triggers in me that makes me want to be with them or go back to them or whatever. But I think that's what it makes me think about, brother.
Yeah, I thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. When we talk about circling back, right? A lot of times people look at it as a sign of weakness, but is it really a sign of weakness? Because to me, it could be a number of things. It can be a number of things. But my thing is this: if you already knew how the story ends, why would you go back in the first place? See, that's a lot of time we don't understand. I already know how this was going to end. I already knew what this relationship was all about. But here I am going back to the same person that I dealt with. Maybe some people are right. Maybe I'm just afraid to be by myself. Maybe I'm also afraid to start over with something new. So let me go back to something familiar because it's easier to deal with something familiar than with something new. So I'd rather go back to the same pain and the same headaches. But at the end of the day, did that person actually change? Because now we have this misconception in our head that maybe if I go back, maybe this person has changed over time. But people show you who they truly are in the beginning, and that's who they are. Because some of us like to stay with that notion, this is who I am, and they stay that person. They never transform. Maybe at the same token, you as an individual, you haven't grown yourself because you are still not over that. So how can you sit here and say, I no longer want to be with you, but yet you're going back to the same person?
I think sometimes we leave relationships too soon. So, for example, we're arguing all the time, or if something happens, we don't want to deal with it, we run, right? We go the other direction. And in those types of situations, it's easy to go back to the person because you're not done. We need to understand when we're truly done. When you put all effort, when you put forth everything that you have with the person, then you can walk away and say, you know what, I'm good with this. I don't need to go back and circle the block. I think a lot of times it's comfortability. We just want to go back to what's familiar. And a lot of times we'll leave and go out here and start dating and realize, dang, I had it better over here where I was. What did I leave for? So I think it's just varying reasons why we do it. But I would say search within yourself and make sure you did everything that you're supposed to do, because you can't focus on the other person. You got to focus on you first.
Right. But I think that sometimes when it comes to situations like that, right? First of all, good morning, Empress. Welcome in. When it comes to situations like this, I think that the problem I have with people with their exes is that they truly never let go. That's why they can't let go. And I'm gonna tell you why people really don't let go. Because I was having this discussion as well with her this morning, and she was like, "Nah, she didn't like the idea," but it made sense. If I'm over you and I'm going through a healing journey and I'm over you, right? Allegedly, if the question is, am I over you or am I over the situation that broke us up? See, it's two different things that people don't heal from. They only heal from the person, but they never heal from the situation that got them where they need to heal. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if you have hurt me or put me in a position where I'm going through something in this relationship and we break up, now I have to heal from you. But I also, at the end of the day, have to heal from the problem that made me feel this way. But see, this is what people don't talk about when they talk about I'm going through a healing journey, because they only healing over the person. They're not healing over the situation.
Exactly.
And not
learning the lessons. And
right.
Not learning the lessons, not changing the patterns, nothing.
There you go. And they repeat the same patterns over and over again. And then here's the kicker. When they see the person, why do you think there's always something negative to say about the person that you was with? I'm not saying that you should forgive them for what you could forgive them for what they did. You can remember the stuff that they did, but you don't always have to have this animosity, this anger. The moment you see that person, oh, this, I can't stand him. This, because all of that stuff starts resonating again. So the question you have to ask: am I truly
healed?
Right. So we're not. That's what I'm saying. So this healing journey that people be on. I understand. She said it's a trigger though. Painted hood, and I respect that. I know it's a trigger. But the question is, if you're healing, are you healing just over the person, or are you healing over the triggers as well? Because that's the only way you as truly can move forward within yourself.
I think the key is really understand. Can I speak? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think the key is really understanding also how you ended up in those situations, and that's what comes with growth, right? But when we say accountability, when we say make better choices, people get instantly triggered. But I can look back. I've been in abusive relationships all my 20s. I dated either cheaters, liars, abusers, gaslighters, whatever have you. When I was 25, I was in an abusive relationship. At this point in my life, I can look back on that relationship. I have no bitterness or animosity towards that man. And I can also look at that 25-year-old version of myself, and I understand exactly how I ended up in that situation. Does that mean it's my fault what he did to me? Absolutely not. But I can understand how that version of me ended up in that situation. So it's healing, but it's also looking at your life and understanding the sequence of events and understanding yourself. When you get to a certain level of understanding of yourself, you start looking at people and the things they do differently. You stop internalizing, you stop letting it define you, you stop identifying with your trauma because you have clear understanding. But a lot of people do not even go through that whole journey. They don't. And then to piggyback off of what you were saying about the spin the block thing. So just to give a little bit more context about my husband and I, once again, we didn't have that situation where we were together for a long time and it was toxic. It was nothing like that. It was like a 2-3 month run, and we had a great experience. Nobody mistreated nobody. Nobody lied to anybody. It was truly an example of right person, wrong time. Now, I do think that's rare, but sometimes that happens. Sometimes God blesses you with something or brings something into your life, and you're simply not ready for it. And I will hold myself accountable as a woman and say, I told y'all, all my 20s, I dated toxic men. I dated unhealthy men because I had abandonment issues, daddy issues, all the things. And I had not connected the dots, right? When I met my husband the first time, when I tell you, my nervous system did not know how to receive a man like that. That is me just being honest with you, okay? My nervous system did not. Now, I didn't show it. I didn't mistreat him, but internally, I was just like, I like looking back. I didn't even know that it was happening at the time. But looking back, I simply did not know how to receive that type of love, that type of consistency. It's like my brain couldn't really even fathom that a man was being consistent, respectful, choosing me, showing up for me, trying to take care of me. I could not receive that at the time. And also culturally, I still live with my parents, West African household. I just wasn't mature enough. I thought I was ready for that, but I wasn't. And it showed up in terms of just like internal self-sabotage. And then on the flip side, he wanted the relationship, but he also wasn't as stable as he wanted to be in the moment. He had a lot going on that he was trying to get situated. And so he didn't have the practical capacity for the relationship. So the combination of all those things just led to us like, okay, maybe now is not the right time. And it kind of just fizzled out. But it wasn't a situation where somebody did something wrong or somebody was a bad person or ended on a bad note. And so I truly believe by divine intervention, we ended up reuniting 3 years later on our birthdays. Our birthdays are a day apart. And we reunited on our birthdays. We had both been through some things in between, and we've been together every single day since. And I truly believe this was a situation of, okay, right person, wrong time. We both just had a little bit of growing to do. So that's what I say that's what I mean when I say it just depends on the context. What happened the first time? Why are you going back? Be honest with yourself. Is it healthy? Does it feel right? Are you just lonely? Or do you feel like, no, this was something that I almost fumbled. And now I'm at a place mentally and emotionally where, I can try again. So it just depends. It really just depends.
No, and I respect that. And thank you, sister. And that was amazing. Like real talk. Some people have good stories. I mean, some people have good endings. And some of these endings are not. So with that being said, I got Empress and I got Painted. Welcome in, ladies. So, of course.
And I have to jump off, but thank you so much for having me.
Okay, I got you, sister. I'll pack you up. Thank you for joining.
Guys.
You too. Okay, so Empress and Painted. Listen, so today's question is circling back a sign of weakness. And are you attracted to the person or the feeling they once gave you? Any one of y'all can answer.
Empress, you go first. You ahead of me. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Velvet, for letting me come up. I followed you and stuff. I'll be returning because I like your topics. Circling back is a sign of weakness. Oh man, that really depends. I've never circled back. I've never circled back. I've been in 3 serious relationships in my life. I'm an older woman. I have 5 children. First 5 children by my first children father. Then I had a husband, and we were together for 25 years, divorced. And I was in like a little boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, just like an in-between thing. And I'm just not a circle backer type of person because I put in my all. And I'm like a love hard person. I'm a forgiving person. You probably could get away with things with me so many times, but once I'm done, I'm done. So I'm just, and I warn them of this. When it's coming to the end, I'll be like, I love hard. I've been forgiving you, not because I'm a fool, but because I love you. But when I let go, I'm telling you, it's not going to come back. It's not going to be no turning back. And I promise you, you're going to want me back. and it always be so true. To this day, I'm with my husband, but my last 2 exes are begging me and always try to find a way to beg me to be back, to come back. But I won't go back because, yeah, I would say it's a sign of weakness. Yes.
Interesting. I want to respond so bad, but I'm gonna let that one go right now. But see, I'm gonna let that one go right now. What's up, 62? But let me go to the sister first. What's up, Painted? Come on, sister. But I like that though.
Okay, so to spin the block, I probably will find another synonym instead of say weak, because a lot of people think when you express yourself is weak, is attention seeking. So when you hear the word weak, you feel like, am I? Like, should I not say that? Should I not feel that? We are bound to feel like this no matter what is in us. Most of us got deeper discernment. So for me, spinning the block, for somebody who has people spin the block, and I did it, it's not healthy. Because the first time how it ended is going to end the same way, but a little bit worse. So as some people say, the first time you're not a victim, the first time you're a victim, the second time you're not. So I'm not going to consider myself a victim. I can consider myself experienced and learning from these so-called mistakes, right? But I learned from them not to do it, not to go back, because it affected my mental, it affected my expectations, it affected my future benefits, because I'm not trying to sling no cat and that's it. I want to sling pockets in my pockets and yours. I want us to be full of financial status, like we get our own stuff together. You got your thing, I got my thing. This is my business page for my nails, so I'm all for nails. I'm all for my business, and I'm all for networking. So when it comes to me sounding like I can benefit somebody, I don't want nobody feeling like, okay, I didn't have this back then. She's a woman that I want her to be now, or a woman I want a woman to be now. I want to come back. No, you cannot. And even if I allowed you to, I have to sit back and think, damn, what have I conquered and completed on my own without you? And you see me doing better and you want to come back? Listen, I'm not going to lie, Kinfo. I do got feelings for you, but my feelings for you versus my energy for myself is bigger than that. Because why? If it shows me myself that I got to put more energy for myself, I mean, in general, you should, but hear what I'm saying. If you got to put more energy for yourself than the person who seemed interested or you had history with, they're not for you, because your frequency is not matching their frequency. Mentally, it's not matching. So I say it's toxic, maybe not weak. To each his own.
True, but toxic and weak's pretty much the same thing. At the end of the day,
right.
Here's my thoughts, right? If you're gonna go, if you're gonna bounce on the person, right? So what, you bounce, and now all of a sudden you want to go back. What's wrong? What's wrong with going back to something familiar? I mean, I'm just asking. Hold on,
nothing wrong with it at all. Nothing wrong with a can of paint. And like somebody said before, you go back to something you're familiar with, even with the bad side, and I feel it, because I'm speaking on that testimony too with no shame. I don't got no chip on my shoulder, and I'm 27 years old. So I don't have a problem hurting myself in a way, because that's the way I have to learn through people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We have to get ourselves hurt, not intentionally. Maybe some people it is. But we have to go through hurt to learn. Should we do with this again or should we not? That's logical. But when it comes to emotional, that's what it's like, damn, I'm going to switch up on my word, because I still feel for dude. I still think for dude. I still, have thoughts about dude. And that, you know what? When I came about the closure, that's when I started losing feelings for this person, because I know more truth than the person told me the truth in my face.
But that's the thing I'm talking about. See, once again, people truly never let go. People truly never really heal.
Yeah.
Even if you're with someone else, you still, because at the same token, it's like those feelings will never fade. And the sadder part about it is, the ones that hurt you the most are the ones that you still have feelings for. Do you know why? Because you wish that they did right by you, because that's how much you still love them.
Yeah, and you know what I would say about that, Velvet? I mean, cut you off. To me, I'm going to be real with you. I get delusional. That's the word, delusional. I wish somebody could do me right the way I want them to be, but they can't.
Because there's nobody.
So that's why I said, let me turn it off and think of reality.
But see, here's the thing. Can't nobody do you the way that you want them to be, because the moment you tell a man the way you want him to treat you, he's going to do that, and it's not genuine. And then you get mad because guess what? Now, he's his representative. That's not him. You created the representative. Once again, I say this a lot. You create the representative the moment you start telling the man the way that you want to. Why can't some women just accept that this man is going to do right by you the way that he's doing right by you, but you don't accept it because it's not what you want? No, that's not what I want. But he's a good dude. He's a good man. But that's not what you want. Then you leave and you break up with him because why? Oh, he was toxic. He was this, that, and the third. We didn't get it. We couldn't get along. No, because sometimes people always talk about this alignment. But if you don't see the line or try to create an alignment with someone, because I can't walk into a relationship with you and we automatically align, that's bogus. That's bogus. You have to create that alignment, which means you and the person that you with have to find something that you two can agree with and come to some sort of common ground with each other so y'all can keep going forward and keep creating that line. Just because I'm with you doesn't mean that, oh, we aligned with each other because we share similar things. Because me and my wife, we don't share similar stuff, but we created an alignment with each other. It's a different, and it works. And that's what putting in the work means. You have to create something that you and your person can, because you're coming from two different worlds on two different sides of the track. So when you're coming together, that's two different worlds colliding. But you don't have to collide it, and it does. When you're colliding, it doesn't have to be destruction. It can be you're coming together, and it can be a smooth, complete thing between you and the person that you're with as you're going towards each other on that journey called life. But this is what people have the problem. Guess what? I messed up. Now I can't believe that I'm no longer with this person. Now I want to go back. So go back. What's wrong with circling back? Because look, is it a sign of weakness? No. To me, no. It depends on the individual. It depends on what you're circling back for. That's where the weakness and that's where the toxicity comes in. Why am I going back to this person? That's the question that you should be asking yourself.
So it's a question: is circling back the sign of weakness?
Is circling back a sign of weakness, or are you attracted to the person? Are you attracted to the person or the feeling they once gave you?
I say both, but
No,
D can answer his question. He next. He look like he ready to talk.
No, my brother D, he got patience. What's up, Blue? What's up, Rain? D, awesome in the building. 62. Come on, hit him with the one liner, man.
Good morning, sir.
Good
You
morning.
can't go backwards to go forwards.
Okay, explain yourself.
I mean, why go back there? What's back there? There's nothing new back there. It's a loss, but you're not lost. Because all it is, it's a lesson. You learn a lesson and you move on. Going back to get the same lesson, because either the person says they're sorry, that's giving them another chance to be sorry, to do it all with. He just changes his face. Oh, I'm sorry. Because you don't have to change. When you take somebody back, they don't have to change. Because you took them back. Then they come, oh, please take me back. You take them back and go, look, I didn't have to change. She just took me back. So take the lesson you learn and move on. It's not the end of the world. You woke up the next morning and say, did you die? No. As long as you wake up the next morning, everything's going to be okay. It's going to work out. It just takes patience. Patience. Because when that person, whatever he does see, that's for you to learn about yourself. And you realize, heck, if I had loved myself more, I wouldn't be in this situation. If I didn't do more, I wouldn't be in this situation. Because we would have made the same choice. You know, most people go into relationships, what do you find out? You're Stevie Wonder. And the minute he does something, then your eyes get open. You know, heartbreak means we get a better vision. We see more than we ever seen once you get your heart broke.
But here's the thing, right? You know when it comes to this heartbreaker situation, how I feel about that. Can't nobody break something that's inside of you. You break that yourself. We pick our heartbreaks. I'm gonna say that again. Some of y'all didn't catch that. We pick our heartbreaks. I'm gonna say that one more again. We pick our heartbreaks. There's nobody that can break my heart but me. Period. No woman, no child, nobody can break this but me, because I allowed all of the festive, all of the nonsense, all of the BS. I absorbed all of the toxicity, all of the pain, all of the hurt, all of the disrespect. I absorbed that. And guess what? Now I feel a certain type of way about this person. They broke my heart. No, they did not. I did it because I stayed during all that nonsense and allowed everything to happen to me, which is the reason.
I said that when I said, if you didn't love yourself or have these things about yourself, you wouldn't be in the situation. You know, you can't play a victim and you're the one who caused the problem.
Correct. But the other problem is this. If I'm going back to someone, because I'm a victim, I'm not even a victim. I did it. I chose to. I went back to my ex-wife 4 times. 4 times.
Okay.
4 times.
Let me ask you a question then. Did you go back to prove something to yourself? Some people go back to prove something to themselves. Their own ego and being stubborn. No. Let me prove this.
I'm gonna tell you why. I can tell you why I went back.
Be embarrassed.
I can tell you why I went back, and I'm gonna be transparent. I went back because I was weak. I was weak. She was toxic as hell, but I was weak. Me.
Had to be something else.
No, I'm telling you, I
No,
was
yes.
weak because you know why? I was fleshly bound to that woman.
Okay, so was it the box that brought you back?
It wasn't even a box. It was the fact that I didn't want nobody else to have her, which to me was one of the most toxic things I've ever done in my life.
So
And this
would
is
you
me.
consider that to be a just a little bit controlling?
No,
That
that's
you say
not
you-
ego.
Well,
That's
ego. Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah, but it was my ego. It was me. I'm talking about me personally. At the end of the day, I went back to her 4 times because number one, I couldn't see. I can't have no other dude dealing with that. That's me. That's me. And for me, with my stupidity, I ain't gonna say stupidity for the choices that I've made. And it wasn't a poor choice. It was just a choice that I've made. What we have to understand is this, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to speak real life into everybody right now. People have to stop saying the choice that they made is poor. You never made a poor choice. You just made a choice. It was a decision that you have made because you're an adult. It is your thoughts, your choices. Nothing is poor about the choices that you made, whether they were right or wrong. Maybe they was right to you at the time. That's it. That's all you have to look at it. Stop saying the choices that I made. Oh, I made poor choices in dating. There's poor choices in men. No, you didn't. You chose what you chose for the moment because you thought it was the right choice to make. And it's okay. We're not perfect. You are entitled as an individual to make any choice that you make because it is your choice. So nobody should be able to tell you what's right, what's wrong. You is you and you alone. Because guess what? When it comes to dating, when it comes to marriages and all of these things, the only person that can tell you something is you.
Did you want your results? See, the thing is, we go for our results, and sometimes we get in a relationship when it's our results and not God's plan.
Right. But sometimes we also forget that we have freedom of will, we have, God gives us free will. So at the end of the day, even with the free will, you as an individual have to be on point with yourself. See, with me at this day and age, and I've learned in this age that I'm in, that whatever choice that I made back then, those are choices that I've made. I didn't make no mistakes because guess what? Look at where it led me to right now. So was it a mistake or was these lessons? It's a big difference. I've learned and I've grown. And I've outgrown the choices that I've made to the point where, guess what? I know how to think wiser and make better choices and better decisions. That's the discernment. That's the difference. But
the path and the destination, two different things.
Yes. Well, hold on, sister. MV had her hand up, and I want to get to the bottom panel. But come on, Sister V. Then I'm gonna go to
I
you.
just have
Also.
a question. So when we use the word toxic, right? Why is it the person that we're done with is toxic, but when you are involved with this toxic person, that makes you toxic as well. But we don't take accountability for that.
No,
It's always after the fact, and it's always the other person that's oh, she was toxic.
Come
he
on,
was toxic,
sister.
but
Come
you
on.
were in the relationship the whole time, so you toxic too. So where is that accountability?
Because there is none. The sad part about it is they don't realize is you was already toxic the moment you walked into that relationship.
Correct.
You as yourself never gave yourself, once again, time to heal over your own BS. So you walked in there thinking I'm good, and you still carrying the same BS because you know why? Because a lot of people are still walking around with the triggers that was never pulled. Ooh.
Yeah.
Let me say that one more again. A lot of people are walking into these relationships with triggers that was never pulled and holding and still got their finger on it with the safety on it because they don't want to pull it because they are that. Ooh, come on, D. Come on, D. You want to take a minute? All right, I'm going to come back. Let me go to Blue, Rain, and then Self. I'll come back to you. I'm going to circle back. Come on, Blue.
And basically what I feel is that sometimes when you return to someone, it's because the connection was genuinely meaningful. And circumstances get in the way. Other times you might return because you miss maybe the familiarity or the chemistry or the version of yourself you were with them, not because the relationship itself was exactly healthy. I mean, that's just my take on it. And you have to ask yourself like a few questions, like why did we break up in the first place? Like, has that issue been resolved, or are you hoping for something different this time with this person? You also have to ask yourself, like, why do you want them now? Or why do they want you? You know, the tables are turned. They want you. Why do they want you now? Is it love? Is it loneliness? Is it nostalgia maybe? Is it maybe unfinished feelings, chemistry? You know, it could be a number of things. Or just maybe seeing the future with that person. Or you could say something like, the question you ask yourself is like, what has changed since then? If neither of you has changed, the relationship may actually repeat that same cycle. I mean, so, and you also have to ask yourself, okay, how do they treat you? Missing someone doesn't exactly erase disrespect, or if that person was inconsistent, or maybe dishonest, or incompatibility, you know? So it's just a number of things, you know, when you think about circling back. And going back isn't automatically selling. Sometimes you need time apart to realize what you had, mature maybe, understand each other differently. A second chance can be healthier sometimes than the first relationship if both people have grown. That's just how I feel about it. So
no, I get it, and it can. But at the same token, we have to look at it like this. And I like what you said. I love what you said, actually. It makes so much sense. The thing people have to understand is this. A lot of time you're going back, it may be some of it may be unresolved issues. Or maybe you're just alone and you're lonely and you don't want and you know that you're going back to something that was already bad. But it's about going back to something familiar. I've been with this person this long. I already know that he's a piece of crap. I know that she ain't no good. But at least I know what I'm dealing with. And you settle. I think that's why a lot of people actually go back, because they settle for nothing. They fall for anything but settle for nothing. It's like, you know he ain't no good. You know she's not no good. But guess what? I'm going back anyway because it's something. And then this is where the expectation comes in. You think that you change, and now you see this person and you're having conversation, and all of a sudden he's talking different. He's moving different. He looks different. He don't look different. He's older. He's the same dude. He's always been the same dude. But in your eyes, because you haven't seen him in a while, and the way he's talking to you now is totally different from what you're used to. This is what makes you go back. But he's still the same asshole, excuse my language. He's still the same person that he was before. Never changed. Same dude, because you get back with him and you go back to the same crap. And it only takes, what, a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two. And guess what? You right back to square one. And this time you stuck even longer in that relationship because now you don't know how to get out. You had your way. The moment you had your first way out, sometimes when you get out, stay out.
How about revenge? We can go back Well, guys, we go back just to break up, because sometimes whoever breaks up first thinks they won. So some go back just to break up with the person so they can say, I got you back. I broke up with you. Now I'm walking away. We can be petty like that.
Yeah, that is kind of, that's very kind of wild. I get what you're saying, though, but that's crazy work just to break up with somebody, just to go back and tell them I want to break up with you. Then I mean, listen, if somebody do that, like honestly speaking, something is truly, truly wrong with that individual. I'm going to get back with a woman just to break up with her again because she broke up with me. So what? So what? You know what? At the end of the day, you broke up with me is a reason why we broke up.
But there's pettiness, and some guys go back just to get the girl pregnant and walk away.
Oh, see, now that's okay. You going?
I'm just telling you.
You know what? You reaching, buddy. You reaching, brother.
No, brothers have done some petty stuff in their lifetime. Because remember, as you evolving, you know you do some wild stuff when you're younger.
But to go and get a chick pregnant, knowing damn well you got to take care of that baby, nah. Hey, listen, this is an opinion-based live. I get what you're saying, but that's crazy work for a man to actually want to go back with a woman just to get her pregnant, and then be like, aha, but guess what? The joke's on him, because now you got to take care of a child, and now you stuck with that woman. So did you really get revenge?
But that's it. When you're young, you do dumb stuff.
But I ain't talking about young. I'm talking about even at this big age that we are, because there are some people right now, even at this age, there are some women that just settle. There are some men that are just like, you know what? I just need to go back to the woman I was dealing with because I know her, it's familiar. Going back to something familiar is really not a bad thing unless, once again, unless you already know the signs and you already know the person that you're with and you already know that hey, I'm going back to what I'm dealing with. Can you really, you as an individual have to ask yourself, can I really deal with this? If I'm able to go back to the person that I was with, can I handle the crap that's about to go down? Because I already know what this person going to bring. It's questions you got to ask. So D. Awesome, you got something you want to share? Then I go to Rain itself. I know we got a couple in queue, so we may have to rotate a little bit, people.
Get them out the way.
Okay, so come on, Rain.
Hey, can I just say something real quick, man?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to what Miss V said.
Right.
I thought what she said was brilliant. I think a lot of people struggle with accountability, man. I think it's a problem in our society. It's a problem in our culture. People really struggle with accountability. So a lot of times going back to that same person, I don't have to change. Right? I was already with that person. They deal with me the way I am. I don't have to change. I don't have to grow. I don't have to get better because the next person ain't going to take me the way I am. And they shouldn't, right? But it's a sign to grow. And so even in the context of this conversation, a lot of times we talk about this conversation because as if the relationship is over because of what they did to me. Well, what about my part in the relationship? Maybe the relationship ended because I got problems. I got things that I need to fix, right? But maybe this person over here that I'm familiar with, that's familiar with me, they'll be cool with me. I can slow walk my improvement. Versus trying to go with somebody else who ain't gonna let me come like that way, who's gonna make me come correct, right? Accountability is a big deal. I think a lot of people struggle with it.
No, it's not they even struggle with it. They just don't want to face the music. See, and y'all two is 100% correct. You walking into relationships, you are the same person. It has nothing to do with the individual because you're walking into something new with the same old nonsense. It's basically saying like this. You walking in a new house with the same old furniture instead of getting something new. That's crazy work. How can you walk into a new relationship and then find something wrong with the person that you with instead of identifying the problems that you have from your past, in your past relationships? Because we have the tendency to keep saying what? This is who I am. This is who I am. Why should I have to change? I'm so good. I don't need to change. Everybody I get with is all the same. So shouldn't that be a sign? Every man that I dealt with, every woman that I dealt with, you know, man, I keep getting the same type of word. I don't understand, man. Every woman I dealt with give me the same issues. So wouldn't you have to open up your big eyes as a man and understand that, hold up, this is me. It ain't these women. It is me. What am I doing to cause this problem? Because let's keep it a buck. A lot of times we get in relationships And I'm talking about us men. A lot of times us men get in relationships and we destroy our own relationships. Not saying all the time, majority of the times, we don't hold ourselves accountable. We destroy the relationship and then want to get mad at the woman and then want to get mad at every other woman that we dealt with. But guess what? We keep doing the same crap. Some of us don't even change. Some of us don't see the stuff that we're doing, but we want to blame the woman. It's her fault. She did this. I can't believe she's doing that. But you as a man, you keep doing the same thing. You're repeating the same cycle over and over again. Every woman is different, but you doing the same crap. Then you want to get mad. And sometimes with some of these women, I'm gonna keep it a buck. As I talk about men and women. I don't sugarcoat. Some of y'all women, y'all get mad at the man. Oh, I can't believe it, but you're still going in there with your same nonsense, with your same expectations, what you think a man's supposed to be like. But how can you tell a man what he's supposed to be like if you're not a man? Some of y'all women don't even know how to play your positions correctly, and then y'all want to keep. Then you'll wonder why you keep dealing with the same type of dude, because some of y'all want to be too dominant, some of y'all want to take over, some of y'all want to be in control, and you deal with these type of men. And then when you get a man that stands on his square, you don't know how to deal with that. What's up?
Melvin,
Yes.
Melvin, can I just say this real quick?
Come on.
Really quick to in and out. Show me who you are, and this is why I think going back is weak, and I want to use the word weak, and I'll let's just say both. But show me who you are, and I'm going to believe it. You show me who you are, and I am going to believe it. And most likely you're going to come back who you are, because changing is really hard, especially for older people.
Change is not hard.
No, it's not hard. Well, for some people it's not, but for most of us, we must admit to change our habits. It's kind of hard.
It's not.
But I'm a believer that do what you always done, and you're gonna get what you always got.
Correct. But I say this, sister.
I also believe that stupid is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Yeah, stupid is what stupid does. But here's the thing,
Right.
And I'm gonna say this: changing is not hard. It is not hard. It is one of the most easiest things. But we're so stubborn that we want to stay that way because we think that we're okay the way that we are. That's why people don't want to change. That's why things remain the same in your relationships. And then what you're doing, because you're not willing to bend, you expecting the other person to change for you, but you're not willing to change. This is the reason why I said
But it depends on
that equally yoked situation. This is where the equally yoked come in. If I'm changing, if I see that she's changing, guess what? I'm going to change with her. If she sees that I'm changing, she's going to change with me. That's what equally yoked means. We're going down the same path, but we're both changing and we're both growing. But if we're both stagnant and want to stay the way that we are, you're going to keep colliding. And it's not going to work. What's up, PR? And that relationship, that marriage, whatever the case may be, is not going to work. It is not healthy.
It is said that not to look back lest you turn into a pillar of salt.
Yeah, what happened?
Do not look back lest you turn into a pillar of salt.
Well, here's the thing, right? It's not about looking back. It's about elevation. If you're in a relationship, what's up, D? What's up, Diamond? I see you, sis. If you're in a relationship and you yourself is not willing to bend, to not willing to fold, to not willing to compromise, then something is wrong with you. If you expecting that you're fine and everything if you only see the fault in the person and don't see no faults in yourself, then there's a fault in that relationship. There's a fault in that marriage. Bottom line, I see no fault in myself, but I see all the things that you're doing, but you don't see none of the crap that you're doing. That's a problem. That's the problem that people don't understand.
That can be a problem because when I separated, and I'm talking about with the man I was so truly in love with, and I complained about our situation. I thought I was perfect in my relationship, and he just was the monster of it. Oh my God!
DJ Rob, what up, baby?
How dare you? He brought to my attention that, but by the way, you lacking this and you lacking that and you lacking this and you lacking that. And I was like, oh, wow. And maybe that's why he went and did what he did. You understand what I'm saying? So
See,
you're right.
first of all, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Real talk, and I respect that. But let me tell you something, because y'all gonna get this work this morning. If somebody tells you what you're lacking, is because they're lacking it, and it's because the only reason why they're telling you that you're lacking is because they want you to do that. They want you to do to them what someone else was doing. Did y'all catch that? Let me say that again. If somebody in your relationship, if you in a relationship with somebody and somebody tells you, oh, you lacking in this department, you lacking in that department, it's because somebody else that they was with before you was doing those things, and they got used to that, and they got familiar with it. So now they want you to do the things that they. Yeah. Welcome to Wednesdays. Welcome to Wednesday. Come on, Rain. Yes, sir, Roland. You got it, my brother. Trying to build that bear. They want you to be something. Come on, sister.
Good morning. So one thing I want to comment on that you said is if you're hurt, it's your fault. I agree with that. I think that accountability really needs to come into play. And a lot of us never get to that point where we want to look at ourselves and ask the question, why are we crying? What about it hurt us? What part did I have to play in that? Maybe it's an insecurity. Maybe it's daddy issues. Maybe it's childhood issues. There's so many issues that we need to take a look at because we are going to be in the same position every single time, no matter the face of the man. If the issue exists, you're going to end up crying again. So I think that we have to get out of that victim mentality and really look at it in a place where we need to actually start healing now. Now, would I go back to your ex? Is that the question?
So let me ask you a question before you go back. What are you healing from? Are you healing from the person, or are you healing from the situation that the person has caused, for the pain that you've caused, or the pain that you have caused yourself? Two different things. Because when people say,
I think everything comes into play.
It really
because,
don't.
You know, what I think people get caught up on is the face and the person, but in reality, take away the face and take away the person and look at the actual issue. Because if you're stuck on a face, you're going to live your entire lifetime seeing that person attached to that issue, and you're going to hate them. You're going to have unforgiveness. But if you take away the face and you look at what actually happened, forgive the situation, learn from it, forgive yourself, you move on. Every time you see them, it's not going to trigger you. It's not going to bring up these feelings and emotions, but we tend to tie our emotions to a face. And I think that's how a lot of us hold on to this unforgiveness that we carry. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. Keep going. You're cooking.
Yeah. So I think that there needs to, if you're crying, if you're hurting, I know the other person does have a part to play, but at the end of the day, you go home to yourself. You are with yourself 24/7. There is nobody in this world that will spend more time with you than you. So you owe it to yourself to ask the right questions. Why am I crying? And all of that. So I think that, yes, accountability comes into place, but a lot of us women, because I've been there, accountability is not first instinct, and it's not easy to us because we always want to lead by our emotions, have the last say, and we want to not like the person that hurt us and then become that victim. Not saying you are not a victim, but I'm saying at the end of the day, you have to have accountability for the part that you played.
Correct.
So that's my response to you, Velvet. I think you're correct on that. Secondly, would I go back to an ex? That's the question, right?
Yeah, if you're circling back, is that a sign of weakness, or are you attacked, or are you attracted to the person or the feeling they once gave you?
I think you have to look at the situation and the part that you had to play in it. And I don't think that it's always a toxic thing to go back to an ex. Again, it's the situation. For me, I when I was 18, I had a really toxic relationship, and I went back over and over and over again. And at one point, I may have been a victim, but then I just became a toxic person and enjoyed that dopamine hit every time we argued and made up. So I do think that at times you are stepping backwards. And then I would say, even with my ex, it was not a bad breakup. We actually had a conversation a few days ago, and we couldn't understand why we were never aligned, but we figured out we just weren't communicating. We weren't two bad people. He was great to me. I was good to him. We just were never on the same page. At one point, I would have gone back to him, and I think we would have really done well. But at this point, my life has just went in a different direction, so I can't go back. But I don't think that in every situation it's a bad thing. I think that sometimes you may need space. You need to make sure you're aligned. He wasn't cheating on me, nothing horrible. So I think it just depends on the situation. I don't think it's common for somebody to go back, but if ever you feel you should go back and it's not because of bad things, then yeah, I would do it. I wouldn't.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna be honest. People go back. Listen, if you choose that you want to go back to your ex, that's on you. Who are people to tell you that you're wrong for going back to something that you're familiar with? That's your choice. Period. And they're gonna. The sad part about it is we listen to outsiders and be like, I can't believe you went back to that person. I can't believe. Yeah, I went back. So what? So what? I went back. Whoop de whoop. My cry, 2 tears in the bucket.
Like you said, is what's the reason you're going back? That's the thing that you need to ask yourself. Is it toxic, or was it that you all just?
Well, you already know what you're getting into when you go back. So look. Am I willing to deal with the toxicity? Because I'm a toxic person too. So I'm going back to somebody that's toxic. Guess what? Like Sister V said, I'm just as toxic as they are. Period. So we're going to both be some 2 toxic individuals, and what we're going to share is just this whole toxicity relationship. That's it.
I got a question. Do you go back to prison to be free?
Yeah, you know what? Some people do go to prison to be free from some of the nonsense that's out here in this world, to be honest.
Okay, but be real.
I'm being real. You asked me to be real. I'm telling you.
No, I'm not talking about you.
Oh, I'm not saying me. I'm just saying some people go back to prison because they can't deal with what's going on out here. I've seen brothers that's been so institutionalized. They came home and they had to go back because they felt better being in prison than they did out here in this world.
You just gave the answer. If you go back to prison, you want to be comfortable in prison.
Correct.
Thank you. That's all I want to make sure.
I know. Nah, I got you. Come on, Bunny. We here, baby. Self-made. What's up, baby? Welcome in. Did Rain speak? Okay, yeah, okay. Self-made. I'm gonna go with my brother DJ. Ford, what's up? I see you here, my brother, my Brown brothers in the building. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Salutations.
Salutations. Come on, Self-made. Talk to me.
Yeah, I want to kind of talk about what you're talking about. Is it weakness for circling back?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think so, because as men and women, sometimes we got to check our pride at the door, and then sometimes we're too grown for ourselves to go back and say we made a mistake. Because we know we all got that one person that we dealt with that was the right person all the way across the board. I mean, mentally, physically, financially, sexually, everything. We all know that. We all had that one person that thought about truth before they thought about themselves. We all got that person that right now, if we just sit back and really think about it, we would go back to that person because it was good. But see, normally when that happens is that when you get the right person that fits your life, normally what happens, it ain't nothing about you arguing or you being upset with each other or something that you did in a relationship, because both of you did nothing wrong to cause any confusion in a relationship. It's usually that something that happens, like maybe at that time, it could be a job situation or where you both can't properly be together. It always be something like that. There ain't never nothing. It ain't never nothing. Physically, it's always something like personal. Like, man, maybe we just at that time we just couldn't come together. And and then we parted and went our separate ways. In the back of my mind, we just would have turned around and said, man, look at here. If one of us just could have came to a conclusion, okay, this is what's the best for the both of us, we would be good. But sometimes we get selfish as people say, well, no, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and you're gonna do what you're gonna do. And then from that point on, you always gonna have that person in the back of your mind, like, man, maybe that was the one. That was the one. So no, it ain't. Sometimes we need to go back. Sometimes we need to go back and get that one, if they are available, for where they're okay. Now we can pick off where we left off at. But now we both in a place in our lives to where we can be adaptable to each other. And I'm gonna land my plane right here.
No, I get it, but here's I think sometimes when we be with someone, right? We don't realize they're the one until that one is gone, until we walk away from that one. And I'm talking about some of us men. Some women do it too, but some of us men, we have the tendency that she was the one. And we don't realize until we get with someone else and realize that that person that we with is not for us. This is where we walk away from some of the blessings that we don't even understand that God may have placed in our lives. Because sometimes he could place the right woman at the wrong time and you don't even know because he wants you to be on time. Let me say that again. Sometimes God will place the right woman at the wrong time so you can be on time.
Right.
And this is where we drop the ball.
Right.
Because we don't realize, it ain't because the sad part about it is it's never our time. It's his time when it's the right one. But you got to be able to stand there and catch it and make that. Oh, come on, Roland. What's up, brother?
That's just what it is. That's just what it is. We got to be just like you say. He's gonna put the right person in our situation at the wrong time because he tested us saying, "Hey man, look here. This is your destiny right here. Either you gonna go with this right here, or you are gonna be selfish in this whole situation. And you know the situation is good for you all the way around. I mean, you know it's good for you. But
you know what the problem comes in, brother, is the fact that when the right person comes at the wrong time, you treat the right person wrong. When that person's supposed to be actually there, that's your healing journey. That's the part when you're supposed to get right. But see, we so stuck on it's the wrong time, this, that, and the third. But no, sometimes you got to look at it for what it is. Here it is, you got a woman as a man, you got a woman doing everything. But you're too busy pushing her away because you keep saying, I'm not right within myself. So at the same token, that's when you're supposed to get right, when you see right happening for you. But we don't got the blinded because it's too much fog. So we ain't defrost our windshield. Because we too busy looking back there because it's a little bit clearer behind me than it is in front of me. So I can't take the time to clean my windshield off so I can see clear and understand what I got in front of me. Like that, here it is, she's doing all this stuff. But I'd rather go back to deal with that one there because I'm familiar with that one. And that one right there is I'm good with that because think about it like this. The reason why you're not good is because you was with that. The reason why you could be better is because you with the one that he placed in front of you. But we don't look at the things that God placed in front of us. We try to look beyond it because here's the part that gets us. Our vision is better than God's vision. He don't see what I see. I can see this. Oh, she's fine. She got this, that, and the third. She's all that. Yeah, she's all of that. But I'm giving you all of this. And sometimes we rather take that, and I'm talking about men and women. I would rather take that than receive all of this. Because that's what I want.
How about this? How about we want in a race when we should be in a journey? There's a difference between a race and a journey. And sometimes we want to run the race, instead of being in the journey, we just keep running that race. No. Our marriage is a journey. It takes time to go through things. But you want to run a race because you want everything right now. The cart before the horse theory. You want what you want, and if you don't get it, then you go, well, maybe I should go back. Maybe I'll go get it. Nah. You were running that race. Your race is over. Now the lady you left, she's in another relationship, and you know what? She's in her journey. She blew it.
All day. Come on, brother Roland. What's up, man? How you doing, DJ? Good morning, man. Welcome to the live.
Hey, good morning, family. Hey, I see this like double dutch. I got to jump in when I can.
Now you got it, brother. You got the floor. Come on.
I appreciate you pulling me up, but I think that it's twofold. Sometimes we get the person who's right in every aspect, the looks, the brains, the money, and everything, and we aren't right where we think we should be, but we don't understand that's our time to get ourselves right. So instead of getting ourselves right, getting my stuff in order, I say, okay, it ain't the right time. And then you want to double back when you get yourself right. No, you take that time when you with a person, because when the scripture speaks of being equally or unequally yoked, we think it's two people that has everything together going in the right direction. But what it is you have a strong person and a weak person, so they yoke them together so that when the stronger person maybe want to go straight, the other person say, no, I want to go left. But the stronger person will say, no, this is the direction that we need to go. And sometimes as men, we don't want to take that direction from our women, where it may be something, hey, if she's better in finances, I'm not going to be in charge of the finances. I'm going to lean that over to her. But it's when I get myself together, when I'm doing right, now we're leading where she may be weak in the area, I can push us forward. When I was in the military, I felt better being deployed because I didn't have to deal with the family issues. I didn't have to look in the mirror and say, man, you ain't cutting the mustard, or however they want to slice it. You ain't getting yourself together. So I would rather be deployed so I didn't have to face it. Where in turn, where if I came home, I could deal with my issues. I can face me. The reality of who I was, and say, man, dude, you're living like a bum. You're not living the standard of a man, and not push it off on her being anything. I don't sit up there and say, okay, she's toxic and she's this, because if she's all this, why am I choosing her? That means I have some toxicity in me. I need to get me together instead of pointing the blame at somebody else. So at the end of the day, I'm not looking for perfection in anybody else. I'm trying to be perfect daily in my walk so that I can be whatever it is that I should become.
Listen, that it don't get no better than that, bro. Some of us, we just don't understand it. We don't. We don't want to understand it. To be honest, we want everything to be the way. I want it this way. I want it that way. This is what I'm used to. It don't work that way. But come on, Ford. I see you, my brother. Ford still here with me. Come on, Ford.
Yo, salutations.
Salutations, my brother. Let me make
go before I unleash. No, go ahead, unleash, man. I'm not clear.
He's waiting. He's waiting for everybody. He's waiting. He's being patient. He's showing patience.
Well, you got to refresh me on the topic, bro.
So I'm gonna refresh you on the topic. Is circling back a sign of weakness, and are you attracted to the person or the feeling they once gave us?
Oh wow, my God, today, man, you choosing violence every morning,
every day.
Yeah, man, I think circling back is a human attribute, but I challenge it with purpose. You know, I'm the type, even if I left a job in good standing, I'm not going back to that job because I've been there before. And I'm not saying that there's a problem with going back to a job, and I'm using the job fictitiously. But I'm just saying, for me, I'm always looking at moving forward. I don't want to burn the bridge behind me, but I'm always moving forward. And for what I do with my company, I drive. And the type of vehicle I drive, I don't have a rear view mirror. I don't have even the ability to look back. I got side mirrors, but my focus is on the bigger picture. And so circling back, whether or not I made the mistake or she made the mistake when we're referring to relationships, I look at it like it's a lesson learned. A lot of times when you're going through cycles and you're steadily repeating the same relationships, the same person in a different body, it's because there's something there you haven't learned. So I'm always assessing myself of what did I do wrong? I've missed the mark. I've missed great women. And when I've missed those moments, I've always questioned myself, how did I not see her for who she was in my life at that season? So it's incumbent upon me, because I'm the responsible one of my life. I'm with myself besides God 24/7 to make these assessments and these adjustments. So the next time people ask me, why are you single? Because I made mistakes and I know where I went wrong at. And so now I'm going to position myself to prepare myself. I look at life through a biblical lens. Jesus said, hey, I go away to prepare a place. And if I'm trying to be like him, that's what I'm on. I'm going away. I'm getting out the dating market. I'm getting out of folk face. I'm not knocking on women's doors, because I'm going to prepare a place. And that place is me. That place is where God has called me to be. And once I'm in that place and in alignment with purpose, then there's no need to circle back. Hey, I missed the mark with her. I think in abundance, there are a lot of quality and beautiful women out here. So I know God is going to have something for me. I think where we go wrong, and I land my plane with this, is when we circle back because we don't know what the future holds, and we're not connected to the one who holds the future.
Say that
the Bible
again.
says God is the author and the finisher of my faith. So he's written my story. He know what it is. I got to keep moving forward.
No,
Sir Fabian, 10-4.
no. Say that. Say no, baby. Come back and say that last part again. When you said, brother, that was heavy. You said listen. You said a mouthful. Don't even realize you said a mouthful, brother. We don't even understand. We don't even understand the plan. It's crazy work, but let me do this because I know the brother has been patiently waiting.
Yeah, but the thing about that though, when we get to talking like we talking right now, they're always they're just like addict looking. They got their first high, and from that point on, you still gonna be chasing that. So as a man, well, you know that we had that one. We had that one. That we would lay down the jacket and let her walk over one footer. We had that one woman that we would do that, and then sometimes we walk away from it. We can sit and tell ourselves that that's not gonna always work us. What we do, you're lying to yourself. Because from that point on, you're gonna be looking for that person. You're gonna be looking for that person, and that's why you're gonna go to multiple women because you had the right one. You had the right one. You had that, and that's why we just keep on saying everything is gonna be in a cycle. We're gonna be looking for that one woman that was set in front of us.
Let me tell you what men do. And I'm gonna go to my brother Coach, and I know D Awesome just waiting patiently. I appreciate your patience, my brother. Let me tell you what a lot of men do. When we have the right one and we lose the right one, we decide we want to go lay down with multiple women. We're not choosing. We're choosing. No, and I know you're correct. We have the right woman. We lose the right woman because we don't realize. And now we want to be out there. I ain't messing with no chicks. I want to deal with multiple women. We don't sit back and take time to truly heal ourselves. Because we feeling healing is getting up under another woman. What they say, getting over somebody, the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody. I call that bogus. We start out there, we start laying down, doing mad stuff, dealing with multiple women. Exactly. No deed discipline whatsoever. And we think because I'm mad, I'm going to make her pay. So when I see her, I'm going to make sure she see me with the baddest chick. I'm going to make sure because we want revenge. But the only person you should be getting revenge with is yourself, not the woman, because you are the cause of it. Women don't just, let me tell you something. A lot of times, fellas, men don't even understand it. We don't really read the signs. A lot of times, women don't walk away. Women walk away for various reasons. It's not because it's another man. It's because you're not the man that you claiming that you was or you're supposed to be. But they wait patiently and they spend time with you and they start putting in work with you and doing all this stuff. But we drop the ball. We do. And some women don't get it twisted. Don't sit there, start clapping and doing that stuff like this because I'm going to check y'all too. Some of y'all miss the ball that's being bounced. Y'all can't even catch the pass because y'all miss it because y'all stuck in your own ways and thinking that he's so messed up. He's this. I can't believe he's X, Y, and Z. But Paul, come on, brother. What's up, Coach?
What up, man? What's going on?
So
listen, going back, man, really could be weakness or wisdom. That's what we got to really look at. It could be either weakness or wisdom. I went back. It was wisdom because I met a woman that I wasn't ready for when I met her. Right? I was going through my own transition in life, maturing as an individual. Becoming a different man. I was like in the cocoon of my life. I was cocooning at the time, right?
Come on.
So when I met her, I immediately knew the value of a woman that she was. I just knew at that particular time I couldn't bring to that situation what I needed to bring. And I let her know that. So what I did is I pulled away from the situation. She had stuff going on in her life too. She was going through a transition with the military. So we both kind of parted ways for over a year. I stayed away, but the whole time I did just what you just said. I stopped dealing with any woman. I didn't deal with any woman. I was focusing on me, my career, my little business I had going on. I was focusing on that. It just so happened that our paths crossed again, right? It would have been foolish of me at this particular point not to move forward in the situation that I knew was the best thing for me. By this time I had matured, I understood what I need, blah, 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 blah. So I went back, and here we are. We just got married 2 weeks ago. You know that. I told you, we just got married 2 weeks ago.
Hey, congratulations.
That's my man. That's my man. Welcome to the club, baby.
I think a lot of times as men, we got to get away from the whole pride issue of feeling like, you know, if I go back, it means blah, blah. It means you smart, my dude. It means you smart, especially if you're going back to a woman that holds value. There was no toxicity in between me and her. We wasn't toxic is the reason why I walked away, right? So that made it not weakness, right? It was just strictly wisdom, and that wisdom paid off for me. And now I'm in a situation with a woman that I've never been in before in my life. It would have been really, really foolish of me to fight that and to stay away from that for the stupidity of somebody saying you shouldn't go back. Man, get out of here.
First of all, congratulations once again to my brother, yo. Real talk. Welcome to the club. It feels good to be in this club, bro. I'm telling you, it's the best club in the world, baby. But nah, definitely congratulations. Thank you for coming up, man. I always appreciate you, man. Y'all know me and Paul be on the back and we be chopping it up. That's my man's in them, like real talk.
For real.
For real. Oh man. But yes, welcome in Hawk. Welcome in the new brother K Speaks. Good morning, gentlemen. How y'all doing today?
Man, it's a blessed day, man. Everything good on this side.
All right. So y'all know what we talking about this morning? We on point?
Yeah. Good morning, brother.
Good morning. Okay, I may have to fill the other young brother in, but come on, let me see what you got. Hawk, talk to me.
So I believe it's not bad to spin a block for the reasons that I think it was Coach that was just talking.
Yeah.
For the reason that he said. Sometimes, we as men, we're not in the right place, where we want to be. And, things are just not aligned at that particular moment. And it takes you to, one, be emotionally disciplined and sexually disciplined to not go out there and start doing all this other stuff that's going to fog your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So like he said, when the time came back around, the stars were aligned, which made it a perfect situation. That's not always the case for people spinning black. The spinning the block, I think a lot of people spin the block because they're lonely. They want to go to something that's more familiar because that's what they know. And your mind is an incredible thing because it'll trick you into thinking about only the good times while missing all the bad times, missing the reasons why you got back with that person. That's why a lot of people, when they do spin the block, it only takes a short while before you realize, oh, this is why I left your ass in the first place. Okay.
No, you ain't lying, but listen, You ain't lying. But we fail because we're looking at the reason why a lot of us spin the block, and I'm gonna say it, keep it a buck, it's mostly men. It ain't really women, it's mostly men. Women only go back for the financial gain, but men go back for sexual gain. Let's just be real. We go back because that box was immaculate, or that box was immaculate. That's all I can think about. Everything else, because everything else is bad, but you willing. The funny part is this: you are willing to deal with a woman, go back with a woman just for a sexual act. Go against everything that you believe in as a man just because she has some good box, just because the package was all that. It's crazy work. We willing to sacrifice my manhood, sacrifice my happiness, sacrifice all this stuff. But man, it's just something about it's that thing just be sparkling, bro. Like she do that thing, man, and that's the funny part. That's what you miss. You miss that thing. You don't miss her. You just miss the thing that she did to you.
That's why you got to be sexually disciplined, my brother.
But do we really have discipline? Because some of us, a lot of men, I'm gonna be real. Women have more discipline than men. It's the truth.
Allegedly.
I
don't know if I agree with that.
I'm gonna tell you why. I know it's allegedly. But first of all, I ain't got. But see, here's the beauty. I could talk smack because we only got one sister up here, and there's 3 boxes. Ain't no women trying to pull up. But
No, they down in the comments.
That's the reason. There's a reason why.
They're the same women that's here that hadn't shared. The same women that haven't got us to 100K, right? So, I mean, yeah, they're here.
no, real talk. I think, and this is just once again my thoughts. I could be right. I could be wrong. But I think women do hold out longer than men. And I'm gonna be honest, you're right. Matter of fact, we're gonna take a little break. We had 11:30, we got 172 people in here. We already got 68,000. Come on, y'all. I'm trying to get to 100K, but at least before 12. We can do, matter of fact, let's do some power tapping. I need some power tapping going on. Well, I want to finish this conversation. I don't mind doing it. I need some power tapping. Y'all will go to everybody else's live and break your fingers. I ain't asking for no gifts. I'm not asking for nothing. All I'm asking y'all is just tap the screen. So that's it. Respectfully. And I appreciate some of y'all at work. And for those that are at work, thank y'all for being at work and participating and listening. I appreciate it. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm just asking for y'all to just, that's it, respectfully.
Hey, look, Velvet. If they can type on that keyboard 70 words per minute, they can tap 70 words per minute.
What is it?
70 taps per minute. I need it.
I'm not, y'all know me. Y'all know I do not ask for a lot. I truly
All
don't.
right. So I sat back in the cut long enough.
Oh, shit.
And I understand this is opinion based. I gotta keep it so 100 right now. And pardon my language, ladies and gentlemen, elders and all. But this is the most diabolical morning we have ever had in Velvet Jones with the spewing of loose bullshit.
Hey, Tokyo talk, brother.
This is the sorriest sack of display of the lack of self-accountability and assessment. But the same rhetoric that is loosely spewed and all, toxic, accountability, responsibility. Shut the fuck up or stand up. Which one is it gonna be? Because apparently some of y'all can't do both. And I'm sorry. But not sorry. When we have these real true assessments, we start taking in the accounts of our behaviors. See, my grandfather said to me, Velvet, as a young boy, I was talking about football practice. He signed me up for flag football at 4 years old. And I was like, I didn't do this because that person didn't do this. And he said, well, son, look, if you know what that person did and didn't do, what the hell was you doing? Wow, I must not have been locked in. I had a count of what they didn't do on the counter reverse play, but I didn't have a count of what I could have done or should have done because I was too focused on what everybody else on the team was doing. But I had the ball. See, when you get in a relationship, they don't tell you this, but your ass got the ball. That ball don't progress. Well, that's your fault. And all this without all that, I already said, excuse me. So, the hell with on what you speaking about, Miss Sheena.
Just focus. I got this. I got this guy, brother.
Now, the type of engagements of self that we lack is insane. We are so quick to
constantly share and share and share and share, and it goes from opinion to our personal positions. Well, realistically, if I'm listening to you and I'm looking at you, I'm wondering, when did you ever shut up? You couldn't have took any assessment of what was going on around you. You was too busy running your mouth. Yeah, even if you wasn't talking about yourself, you were still loose spewing from the lips. Constantly. Jabberjawing. Bumping your gums. When did you ever allow silence to come and sit in and for you to just read the room? Take in the landscape. See where the holes need to be filled in. Reason why a lot of you can't go back is because you don't have no accountability. That's why you shouldn't go back, because you don't have no accountability. Let that man or woman be free. Free of you. I never understood how people like to go to the pool and get in the water but don't want to get wet. You want to go jump head first into the deep end, but don't want to be wet. The thing that I'm having this issue with understanding is how are people trying to run from themselves every day. How are you even making the attempt to try to run away from you? You getting with people trying to give them the task that's solely set for you. That's your life that you're responsible for. Now, there's a point when you come in, you have to be selfless. That's also your responsibility as well. So this is why you shouldn't spin back, because you have no account of self. And you could spin back if you did come to a realistic place to where you could minimize yourself enough to be real and say, listen, I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I'm not saying you perfect, but I damn sure am saying I could have and should have been better. Not only for you, but for me, because I have to sleep and think about the things that I've done and things that I didn't do. So circling back is not a weakness. It's only weak people who can't circle back because they ain't gave themselves no foundation of self. Now, can we be adults on this app for one day and stop loose spewing this rhetoric of things that happen just this one way? They don't. There's a variations of things, but it all starts with you. It's your decision. It's your choice. If you want to put that off on somebody else, if you lost every chess match that you ever sat down at, those are your pieces to move. Well, he didn't say good morning this one day, and oh, she didn't do this that one day. And they have life. They're human. They are experiencing a human experience as you are. They're going to make mistakes. So that leads me to my open letter. Dear future wife, I'm going to fail you, intentionally and unintentionally. Also, future wife, don't come to me with no matching pajamas on Christmas, because I ain't doing that shit. And I land.
Okay.
Thinking about the pajamas, bro.
The pajamas part was beautiful.
It wasn't pajamas for me, though. No. But he had to say what he had to say. Listen. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, for those that are new here, this is all an opinion-based live. What I host on my lives is strictly opinions. It's everybody's opinion does matter, whether we agree or disagree, but as long as we conduct ourselves as adults, that's the only thing that matters to me. We should be able to sit here and express ourselves up on this platform without being judged, nor having somebody look at you for the thing that they're saying. Everybody's entitled to their own thoughts. That's the reason why I do it. It's a thought-provoking live, so you are truly here to think as free as you want. Just be respectful. Okay. With that being said, Brother K speaks. Good morning. I see you've been waiting patiently. Thank you for joining.
Absolutely. Bill Jones, how you doing this morning?
I am doing amazing, my brother. Amazing. So, you know where
So
we
look
at.
so
You want me to go back
so
to the
look at-
question?
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to circle back to you. So here it is. Is circling back a sign of weakness, or are you attracted to the person or the feeling they once gave you?
Okay. This is my perspective on this whole thing. Circling back, me personally, now this is me personally, I don't circle back. And I do that for, a couple different reasons. I'll give you one. One is I always view that situation ended for a reason, whether it was on my behalf or on that person's behalf. And so we tend to forget. And if we have to be honest, man, a lot of times we play psychological games with our own selves, I believe, when we circle back. Like you mentioned about this box being exceptional opposed to somebody else's box not being as good, or that thing that this person did that you liked and all this other stuff. That's all psychological to me, personally. I think you play those games within yourself, and you so much you tricking yourself. You know what I mean? Because it's everything's about an interpretation, right? You know what I'm saying? Like how we perceive something, this person opposed to that person, whatever. And then I heard you mention, mention that this person at the right time, but it was the wrong time, and it's all this stuff. That's just too confusing for me. I understand what you're saying, but it's just too confusing for me. So I'm just saying, anytime somebody come in your life, God's put all these people in your life. I don't believe in coincidences, first of all. So it's just a matter of where you at that time. Like you saying, is this the right piece of the puzzle to fit? Is this the right piece for that puzzle at this time? It could be, maybe not, maybe so, whatever. But I was raised on a different platform. My father, he was a Rolling Stone, I should say, and he had 5 boys, and he taught us all the same thing: keep a pair and a spare. I don't care what it is, keep a pair and a spare. He said, I don't care if it's a bank account, a car, or a woman, straight up. And that's how we lived, straight up. Right, wrong, and indifferent. You know what I mean? I just don't think men, personally, are meant to be monogamous. I just don't think that. I think we, first of all, we come in the game not being honest, first of all, and a lot of us afraid to tell that other person truths. When you have attractions for other people, you're not gonna tell your woman when you're attracted to another woman or when you see another woman.
I like this dude right here. Come on, speak on it, baby. Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're afraid to do that. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit of my backstory. I was married for 17 years. I wasn't faithful to my wife, and I told her I wasn't faithful. I was honest about that. When she asked me, I told her the truth. A lot of people, man, you crazy. Why would you tell you? Hey, because I don't lie. I tell her, don't ask me something if you don't want to know the truth. Because that's one thing I try to do the most is just be honest. Because you're either going to accept it or you're not going to accept it. Either way, I felt like I did wrong, or you felt like I did wrong. It is what it is. It happens, right? And so I just don't think we just be honest enough with people in general to sit up here as if she's saying, hey man, look here, you know what? This girl right here, she did this, or I did that, or whatever. I wasn't ready, or I needed to mature at the time. You just need to be honest about who you are and what you are, period. And if people just be more honest about that, right, you wouldn't have all these, confusion. Because I'm going to tell you what most women tell me when I tell them my story. They said, you know what? I respect you more for just being honest than anything else. It don't matter whether you've been with, how many other women you've been, whatever, but you was honest, and I can respect that. And so you gave that person a choice to choose whether they want to be involved or not. And that's all it is. That's all that's necessary to me. Give a person that you messing with that opportunity to want to either deal with it or not deal with it. And I'm gonna lay my plane on that one for right now.
No, I respect that, and thank you, my brother. But right here's the thing. You know, always got a butt behind something. It's okay for us men to be honest. Of course, every man wants to be honest, but we truly can't. And I'm not saying that there are not men that are truly honest. Like you probably in an enigma, to be honest, because a lot of brothers don't. We want to be honest with the woman, but guess what? We can't, because how do we know she's being 100% honest with us? So that's where the conflict begins. You want me to be real, but are you being real with me? Are you telling me everything that I want to know, or are you sugarcoating some stuff and keeping some stuff from me? So I say that to say it's okay to be honest with somebody, but don't be too honest, and don't open up. Because I'm not going to pour. I'm not. Exactly, Beth. 35%. Because women always say, I love a man that's honest. But how you love a man that's honest if you're not even honest with yourself about being honest? Oops.
Velvet, let me just say one thing just to counter that just real fast. It's not about you're not being honest. Your honesty comes for yourself more so it does for the other person. Okay? You have a relationship with God. You don't more so than you have with anything else in this world. Any other person, whatever. So that's where the honesty comes from, the relationship that you have within yourself with God. That's how I look at it.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how honest she is with me. That's what she has to live with, those demons or those whatever, those indifferences. She has to live with that. That's between her and him.
So you think?
But for me, just being honest keeps me, on a level playing field. That's
right.
what I'm saying.
No, and I respect that, because that's your thing, and I respect that, brother. Hands down, I can never tell you that you're wrong for who you are. Then I'll be wrong for doing that, and that's not who I am. So I respect how you choose to be, and if it's working for you, then blessings. Real talk. I have no heaven. I have no heaven and hell to put nobody in. Come on, DJ. Of course you can. Then I'm gonna go to Cupcake because she came up here.
I love that he went there with the honesty piece, because my lady now, I can be honest with her. Like if she sees somebody or I see somebody or whatever, I'm to the point where I make my own money. I'm retired. I ain't even worried about no money. I ain't worried about her doing whatever, because I'm secure in me. But we had a conversation like, can you take honesty? Are you going to get in your feelings about things? And when she was just straight up honest with me about some things, and I'm like, ugh. Now, back in the day, that would have got under my skin, and I'd be insecure about whatever. But we are to the point to where if I see somebody attractive, they're attractive. I know they're attractive. Don't ask me nothing crass, would I hit it and all that bull crap. But come on, we realistic.
Yeah, you trying to test the waters.
I think that, honesty is a big part of being in a relationship. But first, you got to be honest with yourself. Where am I able to be in that relationship where I can fulfill her needs and she fulfill mine, and we be straight up about it? Okay, baby, this didn't work. I want you to do this. So now we got to talk to one another, because we go into relationships thinking the way we curled Sally toes, we gonna curl our new lady toes. But that don't always work. That's why she has to be a part of it, even with the love making and everything. We can't think, oh, I did this and I did that. No, baby, what do you like? What do you want me to do? Because at the end of the day, if she's pleased, it's not because I'm pleasing her. It's because I'm doing what she likes or what she wants me to do. Mm-hmm. So I'm all for the honesty. Now, don't be crass about it, but tell me if you in a certain position and you want to move a certain way, let me know beforehand. Then I decide whether or not I want to deal with that.
And see, and I love that, brother. Like, but you know what the funny part is? I've heard, and we said this before, some women like to be lied to. I'm not saying all of y'all. Some of y'all like to be lied to. Y'all don't want to hear the truth because, listen, the truth hurts. And they say the truth hurts, and it does. But y'all be wanting the truth, and then when you get it, guess what? Now, here's the saddest part about that is this: the moment a woman wants the truth, and you give her the truth, you know what happens after that? You got the truth. Now I got it. Now I got to focus on the feeling, the reason why I hurt you. So I gave you the honest answer for what you asked for. You got that part. I was honest with you. Okay, this is what I did. Now I got to worry about your feelings. So that's a whole nother argument. That's a whole nother. But now I got to. Well, you told me the truth, but I got to tell you how I feel. Oh, come on, like, bruh, didn't you? It's like a no-win situation. But that was my joke part. Come on, Cupcake.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm kind of curious as to what started this whole topic, but I want to speak on what I've heard so far. Dee, I really appreciate you bringing up accountability. And one thing I noticed that you kept doing, you didn't stay just with one gender, because accountability needs to be on both sides. But you did make reference to the leadership that needs to take place with the man in being accountable in decision making. I agree with that. I also feel that the lack of integrity, the lack of self-discipline, self-control, the inability to love oneself is the greatest thorn in the side of relationships in society today. That when we don't have the soft skills, right, to actually know how to interact with one another, love one another, when we don't know the full definition of love for ourselves and for others, this is the condition that we're dealing with right now in dating. We can talk about the symptoms, but the core problem is self. And we, as individuals, need to work a little harder on identifying the things that we're lacking emotionally, mentally, physically, and work on building up ourselves as individuals so that we can be a better contributor to society and to relationships, not just intimate ones, but to all relationships. Being a better brother and sister in Christ, being someone that can educate another person, but also know how to see the things in themselves that need work. We are so content with, you've got to adjust to me. But the truth is, there's things that we're doing that's rooted in trauma that we want people to just accept. No, you need to work on those things. You need to heal. You need to grow an individual before you combine your life with another person. And if you want to talk about honesty, being honest with oneself at the very beginning, you knew what type of time you were on before you entered into marriage or before you entered into that relationship. You knew what was on your heart and mind. Just because she didn't ask the question doesn't mean you don't need to be transparent and upfront say, hey, this is the kind of time I'm on. I want multiple this and that. I'm not accountable for my decisions. I'm a little bit narcissistic. I don't know how to, say those things up front. Be honest with yourself. And then let that person choose. Let them make an informed decision about who they want to be with. Not wait till 10 years down the line. And now it's time for ushers, my confessions. And they realize, okay, this is not the person that I've been married to this whole time. And now they got to make a new decision about it. That doesn't mean people can't change. That doesn't mean people don't grow apart and have their decisions. But then when you see that things aren't going the way they should and you feel like you got to step out, that's the moment where you realize you need to have a conversation with your mate and say, hey, these things aren't being met. I need you to meet me somewhere in the middle on these things. And if they ignore those issues, be a man of integrity. I made a promise. The promise was to do X, Y, and Z. I don't want to do that anymore because you're not the woman that I wanted to marry, or you've changed, or whatever the problem may be. And then you leave. But we don't want to have the uncomfortable conversations. But success does not come from comfort. It comes from making true decisions about oneself, about what needs to be changed in order for you to reach the ultimate goal. And it doesn't require me to point at my mate to say what they did and did not do. It's just a mirror. It's time to get in front of the mirror and make conscientious decisions. I know the things I need to work on to be more efficient, more loving, more caring for my mate. Well, after my husband passed, I even sat and said, what things weren't working in our relationship that I could have done better? And you take that to the next relationship, those new learned lessons, after you've had some time to truly heal. And whatever bitterness might be in y'all's heart, women or man under the sound of my voice, Lord, I hope that you put people in their lives that they can encounter that will help them come out of that bitterness, that jaded mentality, that whatever was said against them, whatever was done against them, Lord God, that you mend it. The blood, I plead the blood over every hurt, every pain, every disappointment. You are enough. You are enough. And we thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. You know, you come in here with this soft-spokenness. You made my heart feel a little bit. But no, thank you, sister. First of all, Cupcake, thank you so much. I appreciate that, like for real. But I do want to be honest, though. First of all, a lot of people are not honest with each other, period, when it comes to being in a relationship. And that's one of the toughest things that we have to face right now in reality, that we're not coming as our true authentic selves. And I'm not saying everybody, but there are most people right now in these relationships, they're not coming as their true authentic selves. Everybody wants to pretend to be something that they're truly not. Because here's the thing, I can't come in there and tell you that I'm a toxic person. I'm not going to walk into a relationship and tell you that I create chaos and nonsense. I want to come and show you that I am the best thing for you. And this is what happens. And this is reality. We walk into these men and women, walk into these relationships without telling the person who they truly are, being their true selves and telling, listen, I'm toxic. I may be bad for you. I'm no good with money. I'm this, that, and the third. I like to eat a lot. I like to keep the toilet seat up. Just small, like little things like that. People do not really come forward and tell them, because until you find out later on down the road, because we always want to come as this perfect person for you. That's why we say and we do the things that we do, because we don't want to look like the bad. We want to show up as this superhuman. I want to show up and be the best thing for you. I'm going to tell you everything that you want to hear. I'm going to move the way that you want me to move. And is it really deceitful, or is just, listen? So if that's the case, then everybody that's walking on the face of this planet is truly deceitful, because people truly not coming as who they really are. Let's just call a spade a spade. We don't sit there and be like, well, you know what? I'm just going to be totally honest. Because a lot of you, even some of your women do not even be totally honest with the men that you're with until he finds out some of your red flags and some of the things that you do. Oh, it's gold dig. Listen, Goldie, it's so much gaslighting. It's crazy. But this is the world that we live in. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. At the same token, what's up, DB? I see you, sister. This is what reality is right now. And I'm not talking, even you got people at these big ages that we are in right now still doing it. Can't just be like, look, if you want to be honest with someone, why you just can't be like, listen, I'm just looking for somebody to sleep with. I'm not looking for no relationship. I don't want no girl. Because to me, if you don't want a relationship, then guess what? A relationship to me, if I tell a woman I don't want no relationship, which means I don't want no relations or part of that ship whatsoever, which means I don't want to have nothing to do with a woman. At that present moment, I'm focusing on me, period. I don't want nobody to lay down with. I don't even want to talk to half the time on the doggone phone. I don't want your number, nothing. I'm focusing on me and getting myself right, so that way when I am ready to deal with somebody I'm going to deal with. These are the lies that men and women tell. Oh, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not ready for one, this, that, and the third. I don't want to deal with nobody, but yet you got a sex partner, that one person that you could call when you need your need fulfilled. So is that not a relationship still? Is that some sort of a relationship? I'll wait.
But aren't we imposters going in already?
That's my point, brother.
Because guess what? We don't know who we are with this person. You could say you're a good person, or I'm a good man, I'm a good woman. You don't know that until you're with that person. Because that person's going to test who you think you are. And they're going to show who you really are.
The thing is this. The thing is this. I'm not a good man. I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody on this platform that I'm a good man. The only person, the only woman that can tell me, that give me that confirmation is the woman that I'm married to. And until she says it, I cannot look at myself. I can be doing everything perfect and be like, I'm doing everything right. I'm a good dude. How do I know that? How do I know it's right? Because it looks right to me.
It's the faith test. People think, oh, I believe in God, I'm faithful. Did he test your faith?
That part.
Until you get tested, you don't know who you are.
And so many people are, and listen, so many people are scared to be that. They don't want to be battle tested. That's the battle test right there. If you such a firm believer and you walk with Christ, and temptation comes smack you in the face, and guess what? Temptation knows how to come. You may think you're being tempted by somebody, but that's not temptation. That's not temptation. That temptation when you claim that you're a man or you're a woman of God, but the enemy will send the most perfect person, knows exactly what you like, knows your taste, everything. And you think you got discernment. And you turn around and be like, oh, he got to be from God because this is everything that I wanted.
Well, he turns your temptation into a craving. Because when it becomes a craving, and you ain't got no discipline, that craving is going to eat you up. You know.
Listen, a lot of.
Look, Val, how does that look in real time though? Because like, I think it's the responsibility of each person to do that self-image work on themselves, so you can detect. Because like, the devil's not going to come to you in horns.
No.
And this ugly, scary face. He's
No.
going to dress it up in the thing that you like. So, you're not going to intro with, "Hey, I'm a red flag. Let's do this." How does that look in real life, and how do you manage that?
Well, here's the thing. It's going to look like everything that you want. See, a lot of what we fail to realize is this. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it perfectly. The best. My wife wasn't everything I wanted. She was what I needed. See, the devil's going to bring what you want. God's going to give you what you need. That's how you felt. If you're a man of God and you have that discernment, you know exactly what you need, and he knows exactly what you need. But the enemy, he knows your wants more than your needs because he's going to give you everything that you want. You want a woman with this because how you have already fabricated and made this, manipulated your mind to the type of woman that you wanted. He's going to bring you everything that you wanted. She's going to have the fatty. She's going to look good. She's going to have all of these things, all the glitters and gold. And you're going to be like, yo, man, I've been looking for this type of woman for a long time. Yeah, you have. You've been looking for that type of woman for a long time. You've been looking. Same thing with women. You've been looking for this type of man for a long time.
Well, you said it.
But the moment you get the person that he has for you that you need, you can tell the difference because your energy is different. I'm gonna tell you two things as a man. Number one, what you want, you ain't gonna change for. What you need, you gonna bend. Big difference. I didn't change for what I needed, for what I wanted, but I changed everything for what I needed because I knew I needed to change. You see what I'm saying? It's a big difference. So you get what you want and you'll still remain the same. You'll be the same person that you are because you got what you want. But see, what you need, you're going to work for what you need. What you need, you're going to turn because you need to change for your needs. I don't need to change for what I want. I need to change my life. I need to change for everything that I need because I need it to be right.
Phil, and I think that's a bar you just said. And I think that's why we're between needs and wants. They got them misconstrued because they don't have identity in who they are, and they damn sure don't know who God is.
Come on.
And so now they spend, just like the young lady Miss Cupcake had mentioned, they prematurely start engaging men and women in relationships without knowing who they are, without knowing the Father, without knowing what's a need and not knowing what's a want. And they get it confused, and then we have all of this toxic relationships and arguments about who's right, who's wrong, who's honest, who's not, or you switched up on me. And it's chaos. And this is why I'm always preaching identity and then identity in Christ. How you?
Correct.
But there's the brothers, and we all know the pastor pimp mentality. We give a girl 101 scriptures You know, we could give you a scripture, but are we living that scripture?
But it's not up to her to leave. It's not up to her to live the scripture. We have to live it.
No.
We have to.
I'm saying this is what we do
Right.
to get together. We know she's in church. We can give her all those scriptures to act like we, yeah. And guess what? When it's time to live that scripture, whoops, that's when the door gets really opened up.
Well, brother, the script, that's the thing about the scriptures. The scriptures empower you to discern. It don't tell you to discern the branches. It says you'll know them by their fruit. You'll
Yes,
know them by
sir.
their result. So you can quote all you want, but if you're not living it, I'm going to be able to see that. But my ability to see it is going to come through the exercising of my discernment. And people have not exercised that muscle, so they don't know a good man if it hit them in their face, a good woman if it hit them in their face. They can't tell the discernment. He's been wearing masks for years. We have mastered wearing masks. So people are making judgments on masks and not the real person. And God, that's why he says you have eyes to see but can't see. You have ears to hear but can't hear. You can quote all the scriptures. I can quote. Listen, when I was a villain, I was quoting scriptures, and in the next minute, I was in something. Right. So I know the game is the fruit, and you can tell by the fruit, and you got to be a fruit inspector.
But here's the thing, bro, and this is another thing I'm tired of this app doing. The reason why you don't have what you want because you promote what you don't want.
Say, what? Say that one more again. Say that one more again.
You don't have what you want because you promote what you don't want. Your focus is so, bro, we stay focused on the minute. We all sitting here. It's a beautiful day in the great state of Texas. I can show y'all the pastures, the hills, the whole night, right? But we can sit there, people are this and people are that. Bro, people are people. There's actually more wonderful people than not. Panels closed, ladies and gentlemen. Because it's almost closing time. We love you. But here's the situation. Like my brother said, they can't identify or discern because you ain't been good to yourself. You don't like you.
Oh, yes.
You really don't like you. So take a self-assessment on, should you date you? Not would you. Should you date yourself?
D, can I say something to that real quick? The word says a man is drawn away after his own lust. So you're not necessarily being deceived by that woman. You want to be deceived. That's what you want.
Y'all better talk about, man. Y'all talking that talk this morning.
So and again, that's where it goes to, right? But we'll highlight the negative, bro. The devil show is busy. Ford, if I'm correct, I recall the garden. I recall permission to tamper with Job. And I recall when he tried Jesus. Those instances are far and few. That's 3. 97% of those other things was you. It's you.
Come on, man. That's right.
Listen.
We don't have to head horse over the head. It's you.
We're humans before we're Christians. Not Christians being human. So we always have to understand that human part of us is going to stick out.
But it ain't even about the human part, buddy. What it is, though, it's the fallacy that you keep creating.
Yep.
I dare everybody here. Give everything bad that happened in your life 5 points. And if you honestly gonna be honest, give everything good 1 point. Because I can sure enough show you sat there and just, wait, I was only focusing on this? Because everybody you dated wasn't horrible.
Nope.
But there is a one common denominator that you didn't account for. Every job wasn't an issue, but there was a common denominator that you didn't account for. Every family issue that took place wasn't on the family, but there was a common denominator you didn't count for. Every church you went to wasn't bad, but there was a common denominator you didn't count for. So Yeah, we human. Yeah, we live through this unknown experience. But there's a level of self-check and responsibility that we leave at the door every single time we get the chance. Because why? Humans really don't want to be responsible. It's Velvet fault that I didn't make that time because he didn't call me. But you knew good and daggone well you were supposed to do what you were supposed to do, whether he called you or not.
I let him up just in case. That was me letting easy.
Right.
That's my man.
I see that. I already knew what. But the thing about it is, that's all it really is, bro. It's
the two things in life. That's all we get: a choice and a chance. That's all we get.
Right.
That's it.
And what you do with that choice is going to be the outcome of that chance.
And if he wakes up the next day, guess what? You got another chance.
But the thing is,
choice.
But my
if you repeat the cycle of the previous day, that chance is running out.
We just got
we got less days ahead of us than we do behind us.
Correct. But
for some reason we act like we got Teflon skin. we can reverse time. Hey, anybody got 80,000 hours you want to lend your boy?
Listen, imagine if life was ran on if you had a timer on your arm and you could see like that movie Out of Time.
Yeah, they made a movie like that.
Yeah, Out of Time. If you had, imagine that, you will appreciate the time that you have. But see that we at a point right now, and you know what the funny part is? You only appreciate the time when you get older. When you're younger, you ain't thinking about it. You think that you're gonna live forever. But the moment you start getting your 40s and 50s and you start got to get hospital visits and you got to take pills, that's when you start thinking about yourself. Like, wait a minute, hold up. It was called Out of Time, Roxy.
Out of Time.
That was with Justin Bieber, not Justin Bieber. What's his name? Go ahead, sister. What do you want to say?
The consequences do pile up, and like you said, you know, what's the scripture? I know Ford can help me with it. Where it says, "It's sear their conscience." You, at certain point, you're hardening your own heart at a certain point, and there's only so many times. You know, there's some young men, they think they have their whole youth to keep running in the streets and doing what they're doing. Women think they can run in the streets and doing what they're doing, but that stuff sears your conscience. You're piling up souls and spirits on yourself, and that stuff is hard to get off from under. The sooner you come to knowledge, the sooner you come to the word and hear his voice and know his voice, the sooner that discernment kicks in, and those chances that, you know, we look at Jeremiah and he tells us there's a consequence. He loves us, but for every choice and decision, there's a consequence. I don't want to get myself to a place where I'm so hardened that I can't hear his voice. We got to start making better decisions for ourselves and stop looking at other people to blame them.
And not to even go that route and be that deep biblically. But I just question that, do people know that Judas had a chance to repent?
But I think that people don't want to. That's the thing that you just said, Cupcake, was amazing. But the thing is, I think people truly don't want to. They are too afraid. This is where that whole truth barrier comes in. Some, like men and women, they're just afraid to own up to their own truth. And they want to and they want to put on these false narratives, and they want to pretend like the whole thing to me is stop pretending to be something that you are not, because you can't keep up with that. You can't keep up with that facade. Lying, being deceitful, all of these things. You can't keep up with it. So stop trying to keep up with something that you know that you're not even capable of keeping up with.
And Val, that's why we don't have any staying power in relationship, because rather than internally change, we'll externally put the responsibility on other people and blame them. And then what we do is we just change the cast. We don't change. We just get a whole new group of people. We replace people.
No, you know what? You ain't.
I received a call.
No, you ain't lying about that. But go ahead, brother.
We replace people without changing. So we get into new environments, new states, and they don't know us. And now we can reinvent ourselves, and we haven't done the internal work. And what's happening now is everything. I believe that as long as the earth remains, there'll be seed time and harvest. Every time you do something, there's a planting of that action that's going to lead to a harvest. Just like Miss Cupcake said, there's a consequence. Consequence is not always negative. It's a continuation of a sequence. It's what you are investing in. And a lot of people keep restarting over without doing the internal work. And we export our deliverance, we export our growth, we export our development, and then we're wondering why our relationships stuck. We wondering why our family don't like us and we got beef and drama.
because we haven't done the work. I'm telling you, if we do the work on ourselves, if we make the assessment and examine our ways and do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I don't just quote scripture. These are principles and anchors for me to live by because I've seen them applied and they work. It doesn't work when you don't use them. And so people talking and their feet don't match their mouth. And we got to make that alignment, bro, and we'll see growth and development.
I love that my brother definitely lives by that. Do unto others as you do unto you. And I think that people don't understand that in itself is a self-reflection assessment. I'm not going to disrespect Ford because I'm not going to disrespect me.
Bars.
We abuse the privilege of grace and mercy.
But that's the thing, though. See, when you disrespect somebody, it's because you lack respect for yourself. And D also, you said 100% correct. This is what falls down in relationships. A woman disrespecting a man is because she lacks respect for herself. A man disrespecting a woman is because he lacks respect for himself. He doesn't see himself as the man that he's supposed to be, nor does she see herself as the woman that she's supposed to be. So that's when the disrespect comes in for one another.
And then to also add to that, it's also the environment that you created before that person got there.
Come on.
If I meet you twerking and Juka, how can I treat you like a queen? I'm not saying me personally, it's not, but I'm just saying you're teaching me how to treat you by how you're treating yourself.
And exactly.
And people come in,
No, go ahead, keep going.
Real quick.
But then they want to get mad at the simple fact that how are you treating me like this? Because I'm only treating you the way that you treat yourself. I can't treat you differently. Because even if I'm treating you differently, you can't identify what that is.
My break, real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, panel is closed. We are coming to a close. We're going to respect my brother and his wife who is in this chat. And I don't want no problems. I have earned my good graces. I love my people. And because I respect myself, I'm going to respect them.
No, and the thing too with us men, we expect a woman to respect us, this and that, but we lack discipline. We lack discipline for ourselves. We lack respect for ourselves. But we expecting a woman to treat us in a certain type of manner. But here's the thing. What's up, Stopper? Once again, it's the things that we say and how we move and how we perform as a man defines who we truly are. So if I'm looking at my brothers and I'm like, yo, that's my brother there, that's my brother there, that's my brother there, and I identify how these men move, guess what that makes me do? If I see that they're moving correctly, I want to move correctly too. I don't want to move like them, but I want to move in that light because it's a difference. Like you said, for the environment that we create, if I create a hostile environment, guess what? I'm going to wind up getting what type of woman? A hostile ass woman.
Right.
If I create a peaceful environment, guess what I'm going to get? A peaceful woman because I have discernment. Guess what? I see things. You have discernment. Come on, brother. Come on.
And then I'm just saying I'm getting a little excited. But when you create that, this is how you build discernment. Once you create that environment, you can detect what's not supposed to be there.
Automatic.
What's out of order. My mother used to always tell me when I would lose keys or phone, I'm tearing up because she said clean up. And don't just do a little straightening up. I'm talking about clean up. And before I know it, I would detail the entire crib. And then I would find the item that was missing. But now the house is in order. See, when you set things in order, you're able to detect when things are out of order. And what's happening is a lot of people don't know what's out of order. They don't know that man is out of order. They don't know that man is playing in their face and talking behind their back because they're out of order. When you set things in order, things will get exposed.
And you said that right. When a man puts things in order, first of all, I want to say this real quick, and I'm gonna go to you 62. As a man, when you have things when things are in order in your life, everything that you do is just an uphill. It ain't an uphill battle. It's uphill because you already have things placed in order in your life. But if you have no order, right? Now I'm gonna say this. You as a man can have no order, but you have an idea. You have the foundation. You know what order can take like, but you don't have that. Then you get with a woman, and sometimes that woman can help you open your eyes a little bit more so you can see how to get things in order. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want men thinking, oh, you know, she did. No, fellas, because this is the purpose of a partner. That's the whole purpose of a partner. I have the partner when things ain't in order. Guess what she's doing? Her job is to get things back in order, because to make sure that you can continue to lead or be the head that you're supposed to be. See, a lot of times the head fall off the neck, and now the body's walking around in wilderness lost. But this is the reason why you get that right woman in your life, what she's going to do. The moment, because the right woman is going to detect when you out of order. You ain't even got to say it. She gonna pick that up off the rip. Baby. Baby. And you may look at it, what you talking, baby. We got to get this back on track. Because what we're not going to do, we're not going to fail. Not you, we are not going to fail. It's a big difference. When a woman telling you that you're failing, oh, you're failing me in this relationship, then guess what? You are failing her. So you need to walk away from her, because there's no alignment. There's no teamwork there. There's not a we. She said you. So which means that everything you're doing is prospering. But if I'm failing, then guess what? I'm not failing you. I failed myself. But if we're failing, then it's a team effort. Then we're both failing, and that's the beauty of it, and that's the difference. So to some of you men, real talk, be careful with the type of woman that you get with, because the moment a woman tells you, oh, he's failing, I don't want no man that's a failure, sweetheart, you already failed. Because where was you at to help this brother? Where was you at? As you're supposed to be his woman, you're supposed to be his rib, you're supposed to be that man, you're supposed to have that man's back. So the moment you see that man failing, you're supposed to pick him up. Why do you think so many women deal with so many different men? Because they was failures, and all they seen was the failure in man. I'm done.
Now, the problem is, society as a whole, we have more people claiming a disorder rather than being out of order. We have unfortunately, we went so far left to the mental health side that everybody will claim a disorder. I got this problem. No, you out of order. You're just out of alignment. Let's get back into alignment rather than claim, nope, it's just a disorder. And you're looking for somebody else to help you, and it's you. All you do is, guys, sometimes you just get back in line. I was raised, we didn't have a lot of disorders back when we were growing up. My parents got us what? In line. You out of order, son. That's it. We got to get you back in order. But we left that being out of order and switched everything to a disorder. And we claim that we got more people medicated than ever before. Sometimes we have to do the adult thing to get back to being in order.
That's so good. That's so good, because you know what I was thinking about when you said that about your day and age and your upbringing is, I put in the chat, belt to butt.
Yeah.
And see, the thing is, a lot of us need our butts beat. That's what it is. And the problem is, when life do it, you ain't gonna like it when God and life do it.
Mm-mm.
So this is why it's incumbent upon us and imperative that we do it. I tell my children and any people I mentor, I said, do what you're supposed to do as an adult, and you won't have to have nobody tell you what to do. Because, you know, we all think we grown, and we know you ain't going to tell me what to do. We couldn't wait to get grown so we can do what we want to do. And so I tell them, hey, do what you're supposed to do, and you won't have to be told what to do. And so when we align ourselves, just as the brother said, when we align ourselves, and we gotta get some how-to steps, man, because sometimes we talk in theory, and I don't want to be one of those people that theoretically speak about things. Hey, how to take an assessment of your life. I've said this before on these panels. I've had the opportunity to be on the road with my company and drive. I have a lot of time to think about my actions, think about how my communication. So I'm not just talking. I'm actually matching my words with my feet. I'll go and apologize. I talk to my children and call them ma'am and sir. I speak to them like they're adults. I talk to people with respect. I love on people because I want to be loved on. I do unto others because that's how I want to be done. We have to apply the words. The Bible says a faith without works is dead. And a lot of people got a lot of dead works.
Come on, brother.
Faith. Well, they got faith
and they ain't got no works. We gotta bring these things back into alignment, and we'll start seeing better outcomes in our relationships. We'll start seeing the community restored. And I'll say this, and I'll end with this real quick, and I'll land my plane. I know we gotta go. But man, men who know better gotta do better. It might not be our fault, but it's our responsibility. We gotta get out here and grab some of these young cats and chop it up with them. Because one of the things that's missing in this whole faith thing and church of needs talk and all this other bull crap is men living life with men, discipleship, mentorship, engaging. And I don't mean preaching. I mean, I'm talking about, hey, man, I'm finna go pay this bill. Come with me. Let's chop it up. Hey, man, I'm finna go over here and do this. Ride with me. Hey, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Living life. If we look at Jesus, he lived life with them. And that's when you started to see change lives. I'll yield there, man. Love y'all.
Love you too, my brother.
Let me say something real fast.
Come on, brother.
I think all depends on where you are at what age. I think age is a big factor in, because you heard the saying, if I knew then what I know now. No one, when you're young, man, you just, and I don't know what the demographic is of the listeners that's listening in right now, but it seems like we all up in either our 40s, 50s, somewhere around there. So we've lived life to understand things because we've been through some things, right? So clearly, my understanding of what I was in my 20s is going to be very different than it is when I'm in my 50s, right? So, I agree with the brother. Get with some of the young brothers and pass on some knowledge or whatever. But they got to be listening too, not just hearing you. They got to be listening. And I think through life experiences is when you learn these things, and you got to go through some things. No matter how many times my father told me something when I was young, sometimes I just had to hit my head. That's just how it goes. It's just the way life is. You know what I mean? It doesn't, and that's going to happen. It's like I heard this as a say, talking about being honest, coming in the relationship. Well, in the beginning, we're all on our best. I think we're all on our best foot. We're all trying to impress the person. And I just want to I want to stay on the topic when we was talking about circling back. We're all in the beginning trying to do our best and wanting to do our best. Just things happen. And that's why what I was explaining about being honest, I learned that later on in my life. You know what I'm saying? After the fact that I wasn't being honest with myself in the beginning, right? There's a reason why I put myself in a situation, right, that wasn't conducive for, my lifestyle or who I am as a person. And once I became real honest with myself, I was able to be honest with everyone else. And that's just the way it goes. So, I am with that one.
No, thank you, brother. I respect that. But let me go to CFO real quick because we got a little bit of time. CFO, what's up, brother? Welcome in. Can't hear you on mute. See, come in here, bald head, brown skin brother, and always on mute. Take yourself off mute, bro. We can't hear you. No accountability whatsoever.
I was cooking in the first 3 minutes. Get it together, bald guy.
So now, what's going on, brother? I don't know if you heard what we were talking about earlier today, when the conversation started this morning, but I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown. Is circling back a sign of weakness, or are you attracted to the person or the feeling they once gave us?
Circling back a weakness or a what?
Is circling back a sign of weakness? Are you attracted to the person or the feeling they once gave us?
Gosh. Okay, so I can see the duality of it, but I'm speaking from my perspective. I'm just not one to circle back. And now if she chooses to circle back, that's a different conversation. No, you know what? I'm not one to circle back. I had to think about how I handled that one and try to circle back. I'm a big proponent of you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. And if we are to engage each other or we take the opportunity to get to know each other, then I'm expecting your best because I know I'm bringing my best. The worst words you could tell me is, I can do better, because that tells me you weren't doing your best to begin with. And so here I was putting all my 2 feet in the water and you were still dipping your toe. Now, when I look at what you're saying about, how'd you phrase it? Is it something when you first phrase it one more time? There was a key word in there I wanted to pull out.
Which one?
Your question, what you said.
You want the first part? Okay. Is circling back a sign of weakness? Or
weakness, there it is. Right there.
Everybody got a problem with that weakness word.
No, that ain't a problem. I actually think that you're not standing on business. As men, I believe that we should say what we say, mean what we mean, and be intentional, whether it be loyalty, whether it be commitment, any number of words that align with that. But when we move away from that, circling back, you're double guessing. Not that wisdom can't be brought about, but guess what? You just got to chalk it up from accountability as an L and do better in your life. Now, does that mean that you can't go back? Sure, you can, but I just spoke for me. I don't. Because now I have to also address those things back. I heard someone, when I just came up on the panel, talk about, how'd you word it? Well, I'll tell you what I took away from it. I took away from it was that, hey, if it didn't work out the first time, then what guarantee do I have to work on the next time? There's so many opportunities out here that, guess what? Why do I need to be concerned with trying to make something work that I didn't work the first time? Trying the second time, that is. I like the question. Shout out to all the fellas that showed up. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, I'm just not one for that. And I'm okay with the accountability. That's what it was. I'm okay with the accountability, and I'm landing here with the fact that if this opportunity that I missed, because it can be us, we may have not matured. That's what we were speaking about, talking about to your 40s or 50s. That it's okay. I'll be better next time. And so every woman I've ever gotten with or choose to get with, I'm taking good luggage or baggage from the old and leaving the old back, because I'm going to enter into the new one in a place of neutrality, not with scars or unhealed wounds. LA.
Thank you, my brother. Well, let me just say this, because we're at the 3-minute mark. Ladies and gentlemen, today's topic is circling back a sign of weakness, or are you attracted to the person or the feeling they once gave us? Here's my thing, and I wrote this down. Circling back isn't a sign of weakness. And sometimes it's a sign that some things still matter, wasn't resolved, or deserves another chance. It all depends on the person that you're with, is the reason why you can circle back. So it's really not a sign of weakness whatsoever. Sometimes you just got unresolved issues that you want that you want to resolve with the person. Sometimes, like they said earlier, sometimes it was just bad timing. Now, if you're circling back to somebody who was toxic, that's one thing. But if you're circling back to someone who actually was good, that you was actually good for, but you just wasn't on the right type of time, it's a big difference. Big difference. So you can circle back, and there's really nothing wrong with it. Like I said before, if there was issues in that relationship where you felt that, hey, I don't need to go back to this person, I'm dealing with too much, that's one thing. But if you actually dealing with someone and it's like, you know what, I'm trying to get things together, it wasn't a toxic relationship, but like they said, the timing wasn't just right. That's another thing. But once again, I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Sometimes God will put the person in your life at the wrong time, but it's the right person. But it's for you to get yourself on that right type of time to be with that person. And this is where we dropped the ball. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody that came up on the platform this morning. I see the hand, D. We coming. It'd be the face for me, but I don't want no smoke with rain. Second of all, I want to say this. Thank you for everybody that came to the live this morning. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for tapping the screen. We got to 140K. I always try to get to at least 100K taps. I don't be doing it 200,000 to 300,000. As long as I can get 100,000 likes, I'm okay. Thank you for helping me to achieve at least one of my goals today. The gift goals, I truly appreciate that. Thank you for sharing the live out. Thank you for tapping. Thank you for just the comments, because the comments mean so much to me. And that's why I be reading them and I be responding back to some of y'all in the comments. I can't catch them all, but I catch what I can. To my brothers and sisters that were up here today, thank you so much. I truly appreciate everybody that comes to the live. Just to let y'all know, Friday's a whole different one. 9 o'clock Friday morning, just to let your brothers know. Friday morning is an all-men's panel where the fellas pull up, and we're going to have a definitely conversation. I do have a topic for Friday for us men. I'm starting it at 9 o'clock for the brothers that can make it. And if you're on West Coast time, That's about 6 o'clock your time. If you're on East Coast time, 9 o'clock. So should be on the East Coast. That way your timing to be right. You ain't got to get up early, mess up your day. But that's just me though. Nah.
Really central around here, Doc.
Okay, but if you're Central time, you're only an hour behind. I can play with the Central. I plays with the Central. But no. I see Cali all day. Cali in the building. I got love for Cali to an extent.
We do not care.
Oh well, there it is. I guess that's what happens. But
That's
no,
my own say.
but real talk, man. Today has been another. First of all, shout out to my wife, Rain Love. Thank you again, baby, for the topic. Even though I know we discussed what I wanted to talk about this morning, but matter of fact, if she want to come up real quick, because I don't care, that's mine.
Yeah.
If she want to come up, she probably don't. Where's she at? Come on up, babe, real quick, just so we can slide, please. I'm asking, please. You got me saying please on a whole lot. Can you? Okay, I guess you don't want to request up. So we. Oh, there she go. Hey. Look at me all cheesy. Hey, man, how you doing?
Hello, sir.
That man changed his whole countenance.
Boys dropped the octave.
Nah.
Boys went up. Hey.
How you doing? Nah.
Hello, everybody. I got mad appreciation for D. He always on point. He always on point.
Well,
I mean, it's cracking up.
This
What do you want, babe?
is a shout out to you today. Thank you again for the topic. What's up, Empress? I want to thank you just for being who you are in my life, and I appreciate what the conversation that we had this morning, and the fact that you came up with this one. So thank you again. It's just a shout out.
You're not gonna thank me for that whale thing that I said?
I'll thank you later.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we do that on the back end, not on the TikTok end.
Man, I want to be like you when I grow up.
Listen, I'm still growing up. So that's the beauty of being who I am. I'm still growing. There's no way in the world I can say I'm a complete man. I'm not complete until this job is done. And guess what? My job ain't done. These are things that men need to start understanding, that we think because we have all these things that we're complete. No, still things missing in our lives. And I'm me personally, I can have all the money in the world and still will not be complete. Real talk. But I love your fellas, man. I love your brothers, man. I love everybody that came to live. Miss Cupcake, you did your thing too, sister. Thank you so much, because you came up here. I'm not going to lie. You kind of shifted the atmosphere. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much, sister.
Glory to God.
Yeah, you shifted the atmosphere, and we just went boop, boop, and to glory be to God. Amen. But as we always say in my live, thank you, everybody, for joining. May the love of the Lord be with us all until we meet again. In Jesus' name, amen. Friday morning, fellas, for those that can make it, we're going to come at some of these women next. I'm just playing, but I'm for real, though. But I'm just playing. No, I'm just playing. No, I got something for us on Friday. But can't wait. That's my day. Oh, y'all saying y'all ready? All right, I hear y'all be talking about we ready, then we start coming, and then they'll be like, I can't believe that these men were actually saying all this
You're
stuff.
not ready, because as soon as something said at the most slightest minuscule level, y'all be trying to get in the comments, out the comments, onto the panel, and it's all man's Friday. Absolutely not. You're not ready.
She said, Nah, we're not doing that. We know I don't come for women. If I come for any women, I come for men as well, ladies and gentlemen. Understand that. I don't do one without the other, because everybody can get it. But anyway, listen, today's Wednesday.